The people of Benue State love you. Our prayers and warm wishes will always be with you. Thank you for your love, and thank you for standing with us and by us. While we continue to mourn our losses and rebuild from the ashes of pain, we humbly urge the federal government to consider establishing a special intervention fund for communities affected by these incessant attacks in Benue State. Such a fund would go a long way in supporting the rehabilitation of the displaced persons, rebuilding of destroyed infrastructure, and restoring the livelihoods of our farmers and families whose lives have been upended. Our administration will keep working to ensure that our people are not only safe, but can thrive on their own land. Let me also reiterate my firm support for the establishment of state police as a sustainable solution to the persistent insecurity in our state and perhaps elsewhere. While I acknowledge the concerns surrounding its implementation, I believe the federal government can address these by setting clear state-specific guidelines and regulatory frameworks to prevent any potential misuse. Again, your visit rekindles our hope and energizes all of us to continue thriving the path for peace and loving each other. I pray that God consoles each of us. And for all of you who made your time to be here to console with us, may God continue to bless your efforts. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, our Governor, the leader and lover of the people. Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I fell in love with him more than 30 years ago because of his display of the caliber of personality he carried that made all of us who were growing up to aspire to become like him. Today, I am honored to introduce him to you and to bring him to the microphone. Growing up as children, we referred to him as the political calculator. I'm excited today to have our father in our midst, our leader and our president, who has come to take his time to consult with the people of Benue State. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to invite to the microphone, though not worthy, His Excellency, our President, distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. A round of applause for our President, please.
Thank you very much. For this moment, I think we should observe 1 minute of moment of silence for those who have lost their lives. May their soul rest in peace. May God bring peace and joy to the people of Benue and the community in Lewata town. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Thank you, the chairman of the Governor's Ballroom and his progressive counterpart. All the other governors here present. I want to really sincerely thank all of you for the sense of solidarity, commitment, and great values that you have given today. To the man I would say I call the chief monarch, the tortive, I heard you clearly, and I've listened to your requests and your remarks. Thank you. To the men and women of the armed forces, the security forces, the police, thank you for the good job you have been doing and what you are still doing to keep our citizens safe and our country more respected. I know you've sacrificed so many lives. I've watched some of your comments, so many nights, and stay in the bush, sacrifice your time. I salute all of you. I say thank you very much. The Deputy Governor of Benue State, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and former Governor of Benue State, my friend George Akume. All members of National Assembly present here, members of the House of Assembly, especially the chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense and Intelligence, and chairman of our party, even though it's not for a political environment, but as an elder statesman and a peace-loving man, I'm glad you are here. This is your government too. All honorable ministers and the National Security Advisor, members of the Benue State Legislature in judicial arms of government, all other senior government officials, party faithfuls, and all stakeholders in Benue State. Please accept our condolences, ladies and gentlemen of the press. We're here not just to show our face, but to share in your griefs and condole you and ourselves for the loss of lives that are occurred. I aborted my visit to Yelewa town because of the rain, floods, and bad roads. Particularly seeing the ruins and the carnage on camera is hard enough to keep a decision. We'll do something for the redevelopment and recreation of that environment. I want to salute especially General Atopera. I've not seen you for a long time. Thank you. We arrive here today seeing glooming faces. This is not the kind of visit I wanted. I wanted to be here to commission projects, felicitate for progress and development, for reassurance of hope and prosperity. And I've spoken with the governor privately, openly. We are here to help you with peace. It's vital to development. And you are elected under the progressive banner to ensure there's a peace, stability, and progress, so that we can come and commission projects, rejoice with you on progress, value, and things of joy. As you are not elected to bury people, create orphans and orphanages, and sympathize with widows, we work with you to achieve that peace. It is you who will work with us as well. You will show us the way. All politics is local. And you are here to point, to work with everybody, work with the peace. Not everybody will like you in politics. They hate me like hell too. Well, I'm here. I am the president. Another democratic regime. I made a promise. I even protected my abusers and accusers with the principle of democracy, freedom, and prosperity. I will protect them. Abuse me all you want. You must take that. The art of leadership that dictates that you lead at this particular time. You are one in a million of the chief people, people of Benue, people of Iduma, and all other tribes. So walk around night and day, as you do the official job, move around the corners of your enemy. I've faced these same challenges before in Lagos. Your ability, your maturity, your divine mandate is to work hard as you pray, because you are a father. Father to all. You don't have nucleus family of your own. You are the father to all of us, including myself, right? So it's in your hand. To us, the people of Benue, they deserve the peace as the traditional rulers mentioned. Toti. To me, let me apologize and salute all the traditional rulers present. Thank you very much for the honor of being here. But it would have been a better day to clink glasses and rejoice in progress. I've seen the people hospitalized. Governor, please announce in a broadcast for people to donate more blood voluntarily to the hospitals. And thank to those medical personnel. But for us in Nigeria, we have to find solutions to this. What's the cause of the conflict? I heard from Totti Jesus about land grabbing. But if we learn how to share and how to accommodate, we have enough land to feed, to raise our children, to cultivate happiness and prosperity. We must do it. We will change that attitude of hate. We can. We sang through the national anthem. We said, though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. It must reflect in everything we do, in our character. In the economy, in sharing, in developing our people. Maybe part of the solution, NSA, as you are here, is to equally find a channel, a radio station for Benue, work with them, so that we keep talking to each other about tolerance, the capacity to build our family as one single family. I salute those who have governed this state before, and particularly my friend, George Akume. We didn't have to come. We received a lot of yams and food stuff from him. Not dead bodies. let us please find a way to form a committee of elders here that committee to comprise those who had governed this state before, including Zamfara, to be the committee to really find a permanent accommodation. I'm glad the Minister for Livestock is here. Where are you? Thank you. We are going to establish a ranch. Give me land, Governor. Me. Land here to establish a ranch. And we share the profit after you retire. We can shake off the backwardness. Yes, we can. What's key to this? Let us look at our national anthem again. A key item in it is that we want to hand over to the next generation, our children yet unborn, a banner without stain. We must work towards that. And I'm ready to work with you on that. Peace. And I'm ready to work with you on that. Peace. You can't force. You can't give us what we needed, such as food sovereignty, if you continue in conflict. I've said it again and again. We are members, as Nigerians, we are members of the same family, living in the same house, but sleeping in different rooms. Whether you're a thief or you're a Idoma, you're a Yoruba, we have no choice but to turn this country into a nation of prosperity, unity. Fight our enemies together, not fight each other now. Governor, you get me? The yoke is on you. That's part of the problem of leadership. There's nothing. You run around, take your lantern or torchlight when there's no electricity. Move around to see those leaders. Join them. Ask them questions. To join you and find solutions. When I face the question of others and butchers in Lagos, I solved the problem and I created economy out of it. Some groups send their parents, their children, overseas to study, and they were able to pay school fees and build houses from what I created. Proud of that. We can turn this tragedy into economic prosperity. We can do it, and we will do it with you. That's a very serious understanding. Tolerance level. The value of life, human life, is greater than that of a cow. And it's only when you open the door for conflict that political enemy will come in. Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? Governor. No matter what I do, they will still abuse me. Yeah. I read paper every time and listen to television whenever I have time. Just I watch who is abusing me and what type of abuse. And learn lesson from some of the critical ones too. Because I can't see it all. And it's from the mouth of my critics that I will, oh, okay, that is what you do. I'm the president. I'll go and do it. I will preempt you. So you are a failure. You just spoke. Me, I'm a performer. That's the way it is, Governor. So the people of Benue, I just want to appeal to you. It's a very critical time. The governor needs your help. And let's get a committee of non-indigenous. Incorporate, and governor of Nasarawa is here too, and governor of Benue is here. Let's create that synergy for peace, development, and prosperity. We are here to govern, not to bury. We are here to raise families, not to lose them. Provide health care, water for them to drink, food to eat. I saw Plateau launching its public transportation again, revival. Okay, that is good. At least you are not borrowing money to pay salary now. You are able to create a good thing to happen. Governors, thank you. Let's do it. We've been fastening our belt. To give development to our country. You as leaders. It's only when you make the people of your state the priority, that is when you can plan good for them and you can execute good programs. I'm glad you are here today to show solidarity from Kwara to Imo land Hope, Mr. Odiwa, thank you. Governor, you have to talk to them. Get together with them. I don't know what two people are doing in NEC. You cannot sit down, Jojo together, exchange ideas, exchange, challenges, and problems to prosperity. That's where we are elected. And that's how you have your second term. You get me? Please get together with those governors too. And move around. Your torchlight in your hand. The committee of leaders, let's establish that. Move on to the other side of the economy. We cannot do without one another. Whatever we need to do, I will want us to create this leadership committee now, and then we'll meet in Abuja to really fashion out the nucleus of a lasting peace. And I'm ready to invest in that peace. And among the traditional rulers, Totif and Ochidoma and others, to be included in this peace committee. I think by now you'll be bored of hearing my voice. I give you the assurance that we will find peace. We will convert this tragedy to prosperity. Again and again. Police, I hope your men are on alert to listen to information. How come no arrest has been made? I expect there should be arrests of those criminals. Christopher, thank you very much. I watch your comments, and I know you can't be tired of staying in the bush, and Oloyede and Bashar. Thank all of you. But we need to keep our ears to the ground. Let's get those criminals. Let's get them out. So DGNIA and DGSSS, retool your information channels and let's have tangible intelligence that this will not occur again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The national anthem, please. If Mr. President will kindly permit us, we have a picture of the President and the Governor and all the governors that are here present, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the NSA, just one picture, and the traditional rulers. The two paramount rulers, the Tutim and the Ochidama, all the governors that are here, please move the podium aside, please. Your Excellency, hey, hold on. Your Excellency would like to back the stage. Protocol, please help me. Just one. Stop. Please allow the national chairman, the NSA, security operatives, can you clear the path a little bit? Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you for coming to Benin. Police van, hold on, hold on. There is food for everyone to eat. Food is being served within here. Please, traditional rulers, service chiefs, our religious leaders, members of the National Assembly, State Assembly, party members, State Executive Council, let's stay behind. Food is being served right within the building. Please don't leave without having something to eat. Thank you.
All the traditional rulers, as well as service chiefs, that will wait behind. Food will be served here. Please don't go out. Ensure that you stay behind and enjoy the Benway meal. Please, we are all to remain seated. Who will be served here? Clergy, national rulers, service chiefs. Please, you are to remain seated. Who will be served here? There's enough to go around. So please don't leave without having something to eat. Thank you.
This is Channels Television. You've been watching our live coverage of the President's visit to Benue State in the wake of the attack on Yelwa community. Earlier in the day, he visited victims of the attack in hospital before proceeding to Makadi, the state capital, to hold a town hall meeting with community leaders and other stakeholders.
The titans and industry are also going to participate.
Right, a pleasure again having you on the program, Ambassador Nwachukwu. Let's move ahead. Nigeria's former Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has called on Nigerians, especially Christians, to promote forthrightness and accountability. He made this call at the second annual memorial lecture of the late founder of the Fountain of Life Church, Taiwo Dukoya, held at the Fountain of Life Church in Lagos. Speaking on the theme, the evolving relationship between the church and the government in Nigeria, Professor Osinbajo notes that the role of the church in the society is crucial because it embodies honesty and transparency.
It is the second edition of the annual memorial lecture for the late founder of the Fountain of Life Church, Pastor Taiwo Odukoya. There is a significant number of people, including the former Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Senior Pastor of the Church, Jimmy Odukoya, and businesswoman, author, and pastor in the Fountain of Life Church, Ibuka Awoshika, among some other personalities present at this year's event.
Indeed, Nigeria.
One of the children of the late pastor, Dr. Toby Enuha, welcomes everyone, signposting the purpose of the lecture series.
It aims to become a lasting platform that shapes national conversations, reinforces the importance of value-driven leadership, and keeps alive my father's dreams of a moral, upright, and purpose-driven Nigeria.
The event had a running theme reflecting on the life and times of the late pastor, who was not only a man of the word, but one who stirred political and social consciousness in society. The guest lecturer, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, highlighted this aspect of Pastor Taiwo.
His life and times demonstrate an unfortunately disappearing attribute of leaders: authenticity and a complete fidelity to the gospel of Jesus Christ in good times and in bad times.
The main fulcrum of his lecture address emphasizes the role of the church and society as an embodiment of honesty and transparency.
The role of the church is crucial. And the reason why the role of the church is crucial is because we are the ones who must talk about forthrightness, about honesty, about transparency. That is how to transform societies. If we fail in transparency, if our own accounts are opaque and nobody knows what we're doing, then we fall in a fundamental respect.
After the event, Senior Pastor of the Fountain of Life Church, Pastor Jimmy Odukoya, said his father lived a life of selflessness and sacrifice.
We need to endeavor daily to live a life of selflessness and sacrifice, to think of other people beyond ourselves. And I think that's what my father's life embodied, was selflessness and sacrifice.
His sister, the assistant senior pastor, Tolu Odukoya, emphasized that a lot of thought was put into honoring their father.
How we honor him and his legacy is trying to make this country better and getting Christians to know their place and how to work with government to ensure that the country is better for everyone.
Pastor Taiwo was many things to many people, but he will always be remembered as a father, a pastor, and a leader to many in the church and the country at large.
And coming up after the break, controversial Kenyan televangelist Gilbert Deya, who claimed he created miraculous babies, dies in a road crash. Details soon. Please stay with us.
Breaking news.
Again with the latest Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Developing stories. And the conversations that matter.
We see an increase because of the economic pressure on them. The people are paying more for crossing borders irregularly.
Get a glimpse of the world around you on The World Today. Weekdays at this time.
This is Channels Television. Please stay tuned.
Yes. What is going on in the nation is what we are trying to come up with. President Tinubu has just arrived. Left Benue meeting which we said that it ought to have been there before now. Because those that have gone beyond, they've gone. He has just arrived here and spoke a little while there and returned back. He has left the place just like he visited Owo in those days when the Owo massacre happened, and he donated the amount of money he could offer, and he left. So, but the bone of contention is he should be upright, in as much as he will still remain as the president of the nation, Nigeria. He should be proactive. I gave a prophecy that I saw banditry looming in with what? With weapons, maiming the life of people over 6 or 3-4 months ago. Even about a month ago, I reiterated it. This is when our military should have, risen to the occasion and meet the occurrences before they come to existence. But unfortunately, it is in the idea and the words. They jettison the words. And today, look at what is happening. Mayhem, problems in the nation. However, Zamfara State they are saying something, and I'm not just happy with what is going on in the nation. That's why you see me, I complain. Let's see what the Zamfara State government is saying. Let's be there.
It was a brand new construction of Women Affairs, fully furnished, as well as renovation of major classrooms, as well as hostel at the Zamfara State College of Art and Science. The same thing, President Obasanjo, yesterday, he commissioned the newly renovated Yerima Mbakura Specialist Hospital, where we had to do everything. In fact, we had to change everything and build new structure in Zamfara at that hospital. This is the first time Zamfara is witnessing this kind of transformation, especially in the health sector. Let me give you a brief background. In December 2023, having gone around the hospitals in Zamfara State, most especially the ones in the state capital, I was totally put aback. I was disappointed with the conditions I saw those hospitals. And that was what led to the declaration of emergency in the health sector on the 31st of December 2023. And what I did at that time was to set up a team of experts to go around all the 40 local governments to understand what is happening in all the hospitals, especially the secondary hospital, tertiary hospital, before we went back to look at the primary healthcare centers. After putting that committee, they came up with a lot of recommendations that we need to take drastic actions to change the narratives in the health sector. And we started with a hospital in one of the local government called Bukwim, in a town called Nasarawa Burkolu. It was a primary healthcare center, and I remember when I went to campaign that time and I saw the condition of the hospital, I said, look, I'm going to do something, transform that primary healthcare center into a general hospital. And I'm happy to say that that was the first major hospital that we commissioned in Zamfara by building new structures and bringing new equipment into the hospital. Having done that, the next one was in Maradun. Maradun is another local government in Zamfara state. And I also went there and transformed the hospital into a modern hospital, fully equipped with modern cutting-edge technology. Then the next local government is Maru. Maru is also another local government where I reconstructed the hospital and put brand new equipment. And when we put this equipment, we also make sure we provide solar so that they will be able to function 24/7 at any point in time. After Maru, the next was Karanamoda. If you go to Karanamoda now, you see the brand new hospital that was fully equipped with also state-of-the-art cutting-edge technology. After Karanamoda, I came back to Gusau, the hospital where I was born, because the last time I went there, what I saw was a total dysfunctional system. And I'm happy to say that we have done the hospital fully renovated, fully equipped. The major one now was the one commissioned yesterday by the former President Olusegun Obasanjo. There was a total rehabilitation of the system and new structures were added. I'm happy to say that now everything that is in that hospital is brand new. We took all the old beds and every other machine in that hospital and brought brand new equipment. And this is the first time in the history of this state we have CT scan, the latest in the country. We have MRI, the latest in the country. In fact, when General Obasanjo saw that, he was amazed.
President Tinubu has arrived at Benue and he has spoken and left the scene. It is very, very much disheartening that at this time, this incident has happened over 3 days ago. Very dark man has been there. He even entered into the houses where all the bodies were burnt. President has just arrived here now.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, our viewers around the globe. We thank you for staying tuned. Now, there is our father in the house now. Daddy would like to ask you one or two questions concerning this ongoing life of our daddy, our president, there in Kebbi State. Sir, now that Mr. President have visited Kebbi State now,
Benue State.
Benue, oh sorry. What is is that an assurance of a good security in the state?
He's been there, does not given us any assurance that the place will be secure tomorrow, unless he stands up to the occasion, unless he rises up to the occasion. Otherwise, the ugly incident will still repeat itself. They should have to beef up security, in that location. And our military should have the assistance to follow it up, to comb the forest. Because these people you are talking in question, they are in our forest. And they ought to have come to this forest before this period. So, it will be of my advice that President Tinubu should implement what is necessary to combat against this insurgency, the banditry, and the problem the nation is facing at this very period. When we are saying banditry, insurgency, Abacha earlier said that if an insurgency lasts for 24 hours, that the government knows about it. The hands of the government is in it. So I am eulogizing the President Tinubu, as he has visited that place after 3 days of the occurrence. Now, he should come up with formidable ideas, like I used to say, to secure the people in that environment, in that location, and secure other areas, security-wise. He should do what he should. I was aware that former President Tinubu bought Tucano jets. I believe they bought it because of this insurgency. They should take a proactive measure on this and make sure that there is security in the system. There has been this problem. I, as a prophet, have been telling you, revealing to you what God revealed to me about all these things that are happening, that are happening now. I told you, I said I saw this group of people, they loom into the what? Into the city, shooting people, killing people unnecessarily. Over 2 months ago, I've been shouting, crying over this. If our government are at listening time, they ought to have built up a security system that will prevent all these occurrences. I heard of recent time when the Commissioner of Police in that area says that the NASA is Kasina, or a neighboring country, a neighboring state to Benue, that they have apprehended these culprits. Can't you people prevent these occurrences before they happen? Can't you work? Can't you be, active? That's the word I'll use. Can't you be active to prevent these things before lives are lost? After when lives are lost, you are now active to bring to book those that perpetrated it. That's a wrong idea. It's a wrong idea. I expected the military, who represent the federal government, to be up and doing. They should not allow banditry, insurgency to attack people. They should not allow them to be inoperative before they rise to the occasion. Prevention is preferable to cure disease. Like I said earlier on, those things that made Nigeria to be a failed state. I mentioned it in the preaching I made today in the church. And if we are to reinstate this nation, it's going to be a terrible job. Simply because a lot of things has happened. A lot of evils have come to play and take positions. I know it's going to be a difficult thing for Tinubu as president to handle, but with all the reforms that he's coming up with, he should be very proactive so that there will not be a dead reform on arrival. So, since he has assumed office, we have been seeing all these things happening, and we see that when those agitating that they were leaving, the way he says out of the contraction, Nigeria, all the problems that has occurred has ever been the motives and the reason behind the agitations. We do not have education. Our educational system is porous. You will see thousands of students pass out of the university having no hope of employment. We could say inadequate provision for the educated ones. We do not know how to impact the future positively. And they travel out, they come back, they saw what is happening on the, in the system, instead of imbibing the ideas of their colonial masters. They get to see them and do what they like. Economic decline. You see extreme poverty here. Widespread poverty in the nation. And lack of economic opportunities is a part of these things that's making us to be shouting at all time. Uncontrollable prices, which they call hyperinflation, is on our land. A bag of rice today is how much? $80-something thousand. Resource costs over reliance on a single natural what? Resource. This fuel, oil, you know what I mean. We have gold, we have precious stones, we have money denim, we have kaolin, we have cocoa. During the time of Baba Awolowo, he used cocoa money to do a lot of things in the Western region. Today there is nothing like that. It is quite disheartening. It's quite disheartening. Violence and instability here and there. Killing of the highest order. Civil war or conflict. See how it's happening today. history. Prolonged internal conflicts. President Tinubu should look into this and find a solution to the root cause of these problems, of these conflicts. Otherwise, everybody should go on their part. Look at what is happening in Burkina Faso today. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is doing the job, and he's doing it perfectly. I pray we should have the way through.
Thank you very much, our viewers. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ níbi gbogbo tẹ́ ti láǹfààní àti máa wò wá. Ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ látẹnu àwọn bàbá wa. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí àwọn ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè wa ti lọ sí ìlú Benue State láti lọ pẹ̀tù sínú àwọn tí wọ́n sọ àwọn ọmọ àti ẹbí nù. Àwọn bàbá wa gbà wá ní ìyànjú. Wọ́n jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé ní ìgbà tí Tinubu ti lọ tó ti bọ̀ yìí, ó yẹ kí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìdánilójú pé ètò ààbò ó yẹ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìlú náà. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run wípé àwọn bàbá wa tiẹ̀ dìde láti pẹ̀tù sínú fún wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà, Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ máa dáàbò bò wá, Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ máa gbà wá níyànjú lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Bí àwọn adarí ilẹ̀ wa bí wọ́n ṣe ń gbìyànjú láti jẹ́ kí ohun gbogbo tó kó má sí àwọn èmi ní ẹ̀sùn pípani níbí lọ́tùn lósì àti àwọn ti darandaran ètò ń gbé nípa káàkiri ìgbèríko ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Àdúpẹ́ pé agbàládùra pé Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ bá wa tó. Bàbá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ká tó ṣẹnu bó ṣe wà lónìí lórí ètò yìí, bá wa fún àwọn aráalé ní àdúrà.
Ayérayé Ọlọ́run àánú fàánú gbọ́ ti àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ wò. Ìdààmú májò dé bá orílẹ̀-èdè wa. Ayọ̀ gbọ̀nàjò jẹ́ ìpín wa. Ilé là ń lọ ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run mo wà délé láyọ̀. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti wá ní. Lórúkọ Jésù Kristi, bàbá májẹ̀ ó bàjẹ́ fún wa. Mo wà débẹ̀ láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà. Fi orí ọ̀fẹ́ àti àánú gbé wa ró. Ayọ̀ gbọ̀nàjò jẹ́ ìpín wa. Ẹ ṣé wọn lọ́rùn wa. Jésù Olúwa wa. Àmín. Àmín. Àmín lórúkọ Jésù. Ẹ ṣé wọn bàbá wa pé o. Bàbá wa pé o. Bàbá wa pé o.
Ẹ jẹ́ n continue.
Ara Steve náà àti ti gbé tiẹ̀ jáde ń sìn.
Wọ́n ti gbé jáde, wọ́n wà bẹ́ẹ̀.
Lè rí mi ṣá, wọ́n ti kúrò.
Led to what we have today. How have you dealt with this issue?
You know, let me say this, which is really unfortunate. If you look at Zamfara State, we are one people, 99.9% Hausa, Fulani. That will be achievable.
Is being broadcast live. Thank you very much for joining us and for watching. Governor.
Yes,
well, congratulations. It's been 2 years. And in the last few days, you've been commissioning one project after another. I recall that President Olusegun Obasanjo was here, and he commissioned a specialist hospital. He also commissioned 2 major roads. And he said that you are on a rescue mission in Zamfara State, and you can be sure of his support. Senator Jules Okalo was also here to commission the Ministry of Women Affairs that has been renovated and remodeled, and also Zakas, which is a school, also which has been renovated and, you know, likely rebuilt. Now, but President Obasanjo says you are on a rescue mission. What have you been rescuing in the last 2 years? Because when you say rescue, it's like the state was in danger and you needed to come and rescue. Do you see yourself as, someone who has come to rescue Zamfara State? And what have you been rescuing?
Well, Ruben, first of all, welcome to Zamfara State and the entire team that are here. You know, it's such a pleasure to have you in Zamfara State, and I'm happy you're here to see for yourself what Zamfara is all about. Like you rightly mentioned, Ojikalu was here on Monday. We actually came together on Sunday, and I remember he was complaining about the trip where it took him 7 hours from a 40-kilometer trip to get to Gusau. Anyway, on Monday, he was able to commission 2 projects. One was the Women's Center. It wasn't actually reconstructed. It was a brand new construction of Women Affairs, fully furnished, as well as renovation of major classrooms, as well as hostel at the Zamfara State College of Art and Science. The same thing, President Obasanjo, yesterday, he commissioned the newly renovated Yerima Bakura Specialist Hospital, where we had to do everything. In fact, we had to change everything and build new structure in Zamfara at that hospital. This is the first time Zamfara is witnessing this kind of transformation, especially in the health sector. Let me give you a brief background. In December 2023, having gone around the hospitals in Zamfara State, most especially the ones in the state capital, I was totally put aback. I was disappointed with the conditions I saw those hospitals. And that was what led to the declaration of emergency in the health sector on the 31st of December 2023. And what I did at that time was to set up a team of experts to go around all the 40 local governments to understand what is happening in all the hospitals, especially the secondary hospital, tertiary hospital, before we went back to look at the primary healthcare centers. After putting that committee, they came up with a lot of recommendations that we need to take drastic actions to change the narratives in the health sector. And we started with a hospital in one of the local government called Bukwim in a town called Nasarawa Burkolu. It was a primary healthcare center, and I remember when I went to campaign that time and I saw the condition of the hospital, I said, look, I'm going to do something, transform that primary healthcare center into a general hospital. And I'm happy to say that that was the first major hospital that we commissioned in Zamfara by building new structures and bringing new equipment into the hospital. Having done that, the next one was in Maradun. Maradun is another local government in Zamfara State. And I also went there and transformed the hospital into a modern hospital, fully equipped with modern cutting-edge technology. Then the next local government is Maru. Maru is also another local government where I reconstructed the hospital and put brand new equipment. And when we put this equipment, we also make sure we provide solar so that they will be able to function 24/7 at any point in time. After Maru, the next was Karanamoda. If you go to Karanamoda now, you will see the brand new hospital that was fully equipped with also state-of-the-art cutting-edge technology. After Karanamoda, I came back to Gusau, the hospital where I was born, because the last time I went there, what I saw was a total dysfunctional system. And I'm happy to say that we have done the hospital fully renovated, fully equipped. The major one now was the one commissioned yesterday by the former president, President Olusegun Obasanjo. There was a total rehabilitation of the system, and new structures were added. I'm happy to say that now everything that is in that hospital is brand new. We took all the old beds and every other machine in that hospital and brought brand new equipment. And this is the first time in the history of this state we have CT scan, the latest in the country. We have MRI, the latest in the country. In fact, when General Obasanjo saw that, he was amazed that when did we plan to do all these things? And we have a complete radiology department where everything that you need to be tested on is there, and you get your result within the next couple of minutes. This is part of the transformation to the health sector. And within the next 2 months, I'm going to commission General Hospital in Safi local government. I think when you came through Funtua, you passed through Safi. I'm also reconstructing that hospital to a latest hospital. And of course, Talata Mafara. In the next 2 months also, I'm going to commission, by the grace of God, commission Talata Mafara General Hospital. That is from scratch. It's a brand new hospital, because when I went to Talata Mafara, when I saw the labor room, the theater, believe me, Ruben, even your animal, as a conscious human being with conscience, you will not allow your animal to be operated in that theater, talk less of a human being. So it is actually a rescue mission. And the rescue mission consists of different sectors, which I will tell you one after the other. This is about health. So in the health sector, we're doing so much. And it's not about having the structures. It's also having the manpower to be able to handle, especially all this latest equipment. And I had to introduce a new system of salary, which is equal to what the federal government is paying, in order to attract medical personnel to come and man those hospitals, because it's a different thing to have the buildings. It's another thing to have the manpower that will be able to operate to capacity. Now, part of also what we're doing, we have 2 nursing schools. One is in Zafe, College of Health Science Technology, and School of Nursing in Gusau. If you go to Zafe, and I'm going to commission that health technology also very, very soon. I had to go and build new structures, new classroom, lecture theater, hostel, and also latest equipment so that the student can learn in different aspects, dentistry, ENT, and so many, because we need to build capacity. The same thing happening in School of Nursing in Gusau, because you need those nurses, especially even taking care of the primary healthcare centers in different locations where people may not have access. So you need to build manpower, and that's exactly what we're doing in order to attract medical personnel to be able to come and serve in Zamfara State and take care of the good people of Zamfara State. My vision is, I don't want any citizen of Zamfara State to go outside Zamfara looking for medical attention. That is what I intend to do, and I'm sure within the next couple of months, that will be achievable.
Well, I'm sure we have other things. Azu Ishekwa.
Thank you very much. My question will be on security.
Yeah.
So as I pondered my visit to Zamfara State, I asked ChatGPT, and this was the question I asked. I said, is it safe to travel to Gusau, Zamfara State, Nigeria? And here was what ChatGPT responded to me, and I'd like you to respond to that. He says, and I quote, travel to Gusau, Zamfara State currently carries significant security risks and is generally not recommended for non-essential travel. What would be your response to that?
Well, thank you very much. Let me also go back down history line about insecurity in Zamfara State. Within the last 13 years, it has been hell in terms of the security situation of the state. things have gone really bad as far as security is concerned, yes. But the good thing now is the narratives are changing. Security has improved significantly in Zamfara State. If you go back to statistics, you're a journalist, you have records, you keep records, and it's a wall of record. Compared to the number of cases you had of people being kidnapped or people being killed in different parts of Zamfara State, and compared to what is happening right now, the answer is it has dropped down drastically. And we're making conscious effort to make sure Zamfara is free from banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and all sorts of security challenges. Yes, you're right. Whenever anybody tells you that he's going to Zamfara, you begin a night vision, prayer time, everything, because you're going into a war zone. But you tell me, you travel by road from Zaria to Zamfara, what have you seen? General Obasanjo made a comment that all that he had about Zamfara, or he was sharing about Zamfara, the first thing that catches his eyes was the fact that farmers were all back into their farmlands. Busy, the road was busy. You haven't heard of any blockade of any road or somebody being kidnapped within the last couple of months in Zamfara State. So the answer is security is improving, and we made conscious effort to improve the security situation of this state. When I took over, I realized I had to come with a different initiative, and that was what informed my decision as a governor to come up with what we call the CPG, Community Protection Guard. These Community Protection Guards, we employed over 3,000 of them, fully trained by military and the DSS as well as police. But before we even went into that, we had to go to State Assembly to have the legislation so that they would be legal. And we got that. And when we did that, we engaged the DSS to profile every individual that would be employed as part of the CPG in Zamfara State. So after the screening, they presented the list, and it was on that basis we employed them. And when we employed them, we gave them proper training in terms of how to deal with the situation, in terms of what they're expected to do. They are not there to hunt anybody, but they are there to protect the community. And the good thing is, we employ these guys from all the local government. The reason why we did that is because we realized we need to have the locals, because everything the insecurity in Zamfara State is local. There is no any foreign intervention. It's our own people. So these guys, they understand the terrain. And the good thing is, even the conventional security, they use them to go around into all these areas because they know who they are. And it helps. And they're always the first line of defense. And we spend so much money providing all the logistics, providing all the kits, ammunition, guns and everything. So it is really a good thing that we do. And I'm happy with that initiative because it has given hope to the people. People now realize, yes, there's presence of security and there's presence of government. And it's a continuous thing, and we'll continue that engagement.
Onoha. Okay, Mr. Governor.
Yes.
Why did the situation get so bad before you came on board? That's one. And secondly, what level of cooperation are you getting from security agencies, the police, the army, the Air Force? And I'm asking this question because we hear in other places where security agencies get information and they don't act very well. And then lastly, your predecessor is the Minister of Defense State. How does that impact on you?
Mr. Onoha, thank you very much for that question. First of all, let me make it very clear to everyone that there's a proper coordination and understanding between the CPG as well as the conventional security in Zamfara State, be it the military, police, civil defense, as well as the DSS. Now, part of the engagement when I took over was to make conscious effort to visit all the security chiefs, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff and the NSA. First of all, to understand what federal government is doing and where we need collaboration and cooperation so as to work seamlessly, because my main goal is to secure Zamfara State. And I've gotten some of those cooperation. And of course, it is something that is ongoing because people come, people go. So you have to continue with that kind of engagement. More importantly also, as a state governor, I'm ever ready, and I always do that by either helping financially or fueling, the conventional security, just to make sure they maintain law and order in Zamfara State. So there's that engagement. I've been to Ministry of Defense. I've had meetings with the senior minister to complain and explain the situation in Zamfara State. And he also came here to see for himself what we're going through. And we went around, he saw what is happening, and they are cooperating. So it's an ongoing thing. We'll continue the engagement. It's not a one-day thing, and because it's something that we inherited for the past 13 years. Now, coming back to the root causes, yes, previous government were here. I believe they have done their best. They have taken certain decisions, good or bad. As a leader, you must take certain decisions. But that is by the way. My main concern now, as the chief executive of Zamfara State, is to secure Zamfara from all these menace of banditry, kidnapping, and all other related crimes in Zamfara State. And I'm happy. Like I said, things are getting better, and we will not relent in this effort. It's one of the reasons why you're here, because you can see for yourself. And I'm sure you've gone around the city, you've seen there's a normal, it's just a normal thing. Sometimes the media hype, sometimes, opposition will go and post different information. For example, there was a time, they posted so many things that did not even happen in Nigeria. There was a lady that they said, she was beaten here, she was this and that. And when we did a fact check, you realize that it wasn't even in Nigeria. The same thing, the last lady that they said we converted a lady, a Christian into Muslim, blah, blah, blah. And by the time we did check, the lady does not even exist here. It's a lady in the United States. So sometimes the media contributed in sending negative information, but it's not your fault. It's based on what was given to you. And that is why we had to quickly counter the narrative to make a very straight and factual thing.
Okay. Your Excellency, in Africa we have this proverb that says that when you kill a snake, you do not
kill the head.
Off, its head. Mm-hmm. You may not have actually succeeded in dealing with your challenge.
Yes.
I suppose my colleague asked that question about the root cause of this issue, because there is the issue of the Fulani and the Hausa challenges that, probably was one of the major challenges that led to what we have today. How have you dealt with this issue?
Let me say this, which is really unfortunate. If you look at Zamfara State, we are one people, 99.9% Hausa, Fulani, predominantly Muslims. And the question I always ask is why this is happening. What could have been the reason? When I did my finding, it was just a little disagreement between a Hausa man and a Fulani. And the issue was not handled properly then. And the other party felt somehow they didn't get justice in terms of what government was supposed to do. And then they decided to take laws into their hands. And they went to one village and killed about 2 people. And they were still expecting government to react and protect them and take the necessary action. That didn't happen. So they nursed that grudge. And from there, just started escalating. And, in that kind of situation, once you don't contain a situation from the beginning and you just allow it to linger, this is the result. Because I cannot imagine why would somebody, look, if you go around to these villages, even the people they kill, these are peasants. They hardly have something to eat. When people speak about insecurity, if you go to Niger Delta, I can understand. They are fighting for economic independence and so on and so forth. And some are fighting for religion because you feel your religion is superior to this. But in Zamfara State, I said we're 99.9% Muslims. Hausa, Fulani. So what could have been the reason? Now, let's stop all the blame game. Let's face reality. What do we need to do? Part of what I said, as a governor, I'm now a governor of Zamfara State. So every citizen of Zamfara State is under the law. It doesn't matter whether you're PDP, APC, or you're doing party, or you don't do politics. And it's my responsibility for the safety of their lives and properties. What am I supposed to do? I have to make conscious effort by whatever means to protect lives and properties of the citizens of Zamfara State. And that's what I'm doing. However, it's not going to be an easy thing. Something that lingers within the last 13 years. It will be difficult within a short period of time, under 2 years, to be able to say you're able to manage the situation and it doesn't exist. Now, part of what I understand is, and I made it very clear to everyone that, look, what is the problem? Is it about building schools? I'm ready to build schools all over. What does it cost to build a classroom? It's just blocks and zinc. What does it take to build a primary health care? How much does it cost? What does it cost to provide borehole? If these are the issues, I say let's all come together. And I'm ready to provide all these things for you so that we can live in peace.
Okay, good. Now, let's bring in
Well, Your Excellency, I mean, we all know that security operations require adequate time. And the information out there is that Zamfara is the poorest state in Nigeria, and you're here to confirm whether or not that is true. So, how do you ensure adequate funding for frontline responses?
Well, Olajumoke, it is true security requires financing. And of course, you're right. Zamfara State happens to be the least in terms of FAC allocation compared to other states. And therefore, we have to make conscious effort to find a way to be able to finance the security operations. Because without security, what can you do? That is number one priority. And the next is education. So we're still managing from the little resources. And we're also looking elsewhere to people who are ready to assist. And we're getting that assistance. Like I said to you, there is no conventional security that we don't fund in one way or the other, including the community protection guards. We provide logistics for them. Just last month, I bought brand new 140 vehicles and gave it to the security operative in order to assist in going around. And these are brand new cars. Some are bulletproof, some are APCs, in order to help going around for logistics. I'm the one fueling all the operations. Because if it means spending 80% of your money to have peace, you rather do that than doing anything at least people should be able to live in peace. People should be able to sleep with their eyes closed. So yes, we're doing that. But the good thing also, we're working on our internally generated revenue. And in as much as Zamfara State is the poor state, in terms of solid minerals, Zamfara State is blessed because we have the highest mineral deposit. The only problem is we still couldn't put this thing together. And part of what we're doing right now is to formalize the mining sector. So the state and the federal government to see how do we formalize the mining sector. If I take you to some of this side where they bring gold, you'd be amazed. We test the lithium. We have the highest quality of lithium in the world. And look at everything now is about batteries. So we're making conscious effort to have factories built. We engage private sector because you need PPP to get to that. And within the shortest possible time, you will get to hear about the mining industry in Zamfara State. So that will complement the financial aspect, which means we'll be able to do this, transform the state's infrastructure, education, employment, name it. And I think by the time we do that, that will change the narrative. I'm sure you'll be flying from Lagos to Gusau to come and look for gold or to look for copper.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. Still
Yes,
staying on this issue of security.
Yes.
Yesterday we drove through
Funtua, Safi.
Funtua, Safi.
Yeah.
And those were two local governments notorious for being the hotbed of banditry. Yeah.
Yes.
But we're told that the peace that we saw up there yesterday was as a result of the efforts of the community protection guards that you set up. So that means you're recording successes.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't this good story, doesn't it reinforce the fact that the glass ceiling on this issue of state police has been shattered? And if that is so, don't you think as the one that pioneered this thing that has been able to restore peace to Zamfara, to some degree, you should now be the poster boy on this issue of state police?
Absolutely. I'm actually for state police. I've written my letter to NEC agreeing that, yes, we should have state police. Because the issue now is, as chief security officers, we also need to have some element of command and control of the security forces. Because we live with these people, we live with the community, we understand their challenges, and we should be able, as responsible government, make conscious effort to secure their lives and properties. So, and still we're doing so much. For example, the community protection guard is more like an internal police because they are the first line of defense in their respective communities. We provide transportation for them, their kittens, everything from helmet, life jacket and everything, uniform, fueling, salaries and everything. So we're almost there. So let's make it formal. Let me know I have my people that I can give directives, I can give order, go and do this. And the good thing is, you get these people locally because they live from within the community. They understand the community. All these bandits that you're talking about, they are our own people. So, I'm an advocate of state police.
Okay, Your Excellency. I think we'll take a few follow-up questions on the issue of security. We have a long list. Absolutely. We'll still talk about infrastructure, health, empowerment, and all of that. But very quickly, in response to what you said, okay, I'll come to you after I've asked this question.
Yes.
Now,
Ruben,
you say you are the governor of everybody.
Yes.
And yet you say you are on a rescue mission.
Yes.
You took over from, I think, Governor Matawale.
Matawale, yes.
As he then was.
Yes.
So he didn't do anything. That's what you are trying to rescue. Is that what I'm hearing? And then secondly, Zamfara State belongs to Northwest Development Commission.
That was newly created.
Yes, it's new, but there's also a 10-year plan for development in the Northwest among the governors and leaders in this area. What level of cooperation are you getting from your brother governors in the region? Because if a bandit escapes from Zamfara, they can go to neighboring states. They go to Katsina, they go to any other state. If there's no commitment to fight banditry in those adjoining states, it's like but what's the level of synergy that you see?
It is a very important question, Ruben, that you ask. Part of what we did as 7 Northwest governors, especially Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, Katsina, Kano, and Jigawa. Kano and Jigawa, they are not having this kind of crisis for whatever reason, because I think from day one, they were able to contain it even when Boko Haram started. And part of what they did was there was that synergy among the people of Kano State and Jigawa where they refused to shield anybody. And remember, Kano is a business community and they don't want anything that will affect their business. Because in the long run, if they allow that to happen, it means everything will cripple. So there was a proper cooperation, and they realized if my son is involved in all sort of crime, I'll just bring him out and hand him over to the security. We didn't do that in this part of the world. Now, having realized this major challenge, as Northwest governments, we felt there's a need to have synergy, like you just mentioned, whereby we work together, come up with a strategy of containing the situation. And part of what I agreed then was to set up our own independent security outfit. I remember Katsina started with their own watch guards, followed by Zamfara, after which Sokoto also launched their own, and so is Kebbi. That is one. 2, there must be constant engagement and sharing information, because, like you said, I can do so much in Zamfara, which is also the hope of banditry. Once they realize I'm doing something effective, they will leave Zamfara. And they have done that over and over, and they move into Kaduna or Niger or Sokoto and create havoc. This is one of the reasons why I was against the peace plan that they initiated. I said, look, whatever it is that we're going to do, let it be very, very holistic. Bring everybody on board, understand the issues, and begin to propose solutions to all the issues. So, cooperation among the states is key to containing the situation. Otherwise, I may be doing so much here to contain the situation, and the next thing they move to Katsina, or they move to Niger, as the case may be. So, it is an ongoing process. I remember at the last Northern Governors meeting in Kaduna last month, security was the main topic. What do we do collectively? Because it affects everybody. Okay. And without peace, there will be no meaningful development.
So, Governor, we'll take one more follow-up question, and then we'll go on break, and then when we come back, we may still continue with this security matter.
Absolutely.
Because it's the major. Azu wants to ask a question, Aruleba wants to ask a question. Who will go first?
Just very quickly,
yes,
to build on what Dr. Abati asked.
Yes.
And you talked about synergy. My question is on strategy. You operate a no-negotiation policy as far as banditry is concerned. Katsina operates a policy of negotiation with bandits. I mean, we saw clearly yesterday a situation where Ado Alero was being hosted, by the state. How do you deal with a situation where you're talking about cooperation, you're talking about synergy, but obviously on the point of strategy, yourself and some of your neighboring states act differently. How do you deal with that sort of situation?
Okay, yes, let's take Aruleba's question.
Okay,
then
I
we
can
go on break.
Sure.
We'll give you time to then respond when we return from that break.
Thank you, Robert.
there have been some roadblocks on this issue of state police, and I'm surprised you didn't address them when I asked the question of state police initially. One, you probably had addressed one, the issue of funding. The fear had been, if you allow states to create police forces of their own, would they be committed to funding such outfits? But you seem to have addressed that. But there are still some fears left. One is the issue of possible misuse of such outfits. What would be your response to that?
What is happening with the conventional security right now? Are they not being misused in one way or the other?
Well, on that note, let's take a short break. Now, if you're watching us, we're broadcasting live from the office of the Governor of Zamfara State, Governor Dauda Lawal, on the occasion of his second anniversary in office as Governor of Zamfara State. He says he's on a rescue mission, and he's been giving us an account of how he's trying to rescue the situation in Zamfara State and ensure progress, development, and quality of life for the benefit of the people of Zamfara State. We'll take this short break, and when we return, the governor would respond to the two follow-up questions that have been asked by Aruleba and Azu Ishekwene. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Double digits affect your purchasing power. What about ballooning debts profile and scarce FX? How's it affecting your business?
The federal government is turning to the money market to fund this deficit. Are yields contracting or expanding? Is this a good buy for you?
Inflation drives MPC decisions and affects sentiment at the equities market. What is happening to your investment?
Or would you rather go digital? We track all the volatility in the crypto market.
Get the answers from the business team every weekday at 1 p.m. on Business Incorporated, only on Channels Television.
We live in an era of massive innovation, true ideas that impact every industry and society, cutting-edge technology that gives you a glimpse of the future, intuitive minds that meet the demand of the revolution of talent. The future of enterprise lies in the digital world. It's full of questions and yet solutions. Join us on Tech Trends as we bring you the finest blend of technology and the latest happenings in the tech space. Tech Trends, the tech edge you need.
Hello, warm welcome to our house. I'm Lily coming up on today's episode of the program.
Life is a stage. A bold canvas.
Welcome back to the media chat with Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State. If you are just joining us, we're broadcasting.
Splash some pink on it. Spring some rice while at it. Then enjoy it on our house. We see life in beautiful curves, sparks, colors, most exciting tools. Join us as we savor intriguing sights and sounds at these times. Art House, life is art.
Coming back to your question in terms of synergy cooperation, as of the last meeting we had in Abuja with the NSA, myself, the governor of Katsina, governor of Sokoto, as well as Kebbi, we were all on the same page. However, like you rightly pointed out, 2 days ago, there was this clip where Ado Aleri was in Katsina for a piece. Honestly, I don't know who organized that piece because I haven't had anything from the governor of Katsina. And I was trying to get hold of him to find out what actually happened. There could be an explanation, which I don't have. But as of the last time we met, we were all on the same page on no negotiation with any bandit.
Does that video give you concern?
Well, yes, I was. But like I said, I don't want to jump into conclusion. Let me find out what actually happened. The serious issue in terms of functions and process. It doesn't exist. The budgeting process, I cannot remember those years when there was proper budgeting. But this time around, we have a very young, talented, the youngest commissioner in Nigeria, who happens to be the commissioner of budgets. And he's doing extremely well in terms of the budgeting system. From August, he will start going around all the local government and the emirates to understand what do they need so that we can factor them into the capital projects. So like I told you, we did bottom-top approach. Now, having realized also there are challenges in terms of processes, we made conscious effort to put all the structures in place. From the commissioner, permanent secretary, directors, to the lowest grade, to understand, because everybody has a KPI. So our financial transactions are so open and transparent that anybody can have access to. On top of that, I do hold quarterly performance review where I invite all the commissioners, permanent secretaries, head of agencies, with a dashboard as to what our finances are. And I ask questions. Let me tell you also, if you look at the revenue profile of Zamfara State today, it's entirely a different story. When I took over, our IGR in Zamfara State was 90 million naira. That 90 million naira, 85% of that 90 million was payee. But today, I'm happy to tell you that we have passed over the 2 billion naira mark month on month, and it's growing on a monthly basis, incremental. So there's a total transparency and accountability in this system. If you want me to give you all our finances today, believe me, we have a website. You can even visit our website. You can view everything. Nothing is hidden.
We'll hold you to your word.
Hold me. Yes.
Oh, no. Okay.
I can give it to you if you want today. I can give you the website. Go and check.
How are you dealing with the Alamajiri issue? And what model will you recommend to the entire North to solve the problem?
You know, when I spoke about the Angaya school, that is the Islamic and the Western education, is a model to try to discourage Al-Majiri. It's the same Al-Majiri, you know, that blend into the system. Look, it's a full school whereby teachers, Islamic teachers, conventional teachers are there. We provide food for them. Everything is there. I wish maybe my media person will take you to the one in Gusau here so that you can just see the model. It was a conscious effort to remove Al-Majiri from the street into, what do you call it, modern education so that they can also benefit. Because, you know, it is something that we also had to do so much and convince even the Malam that, no, we're not just trying to take your children away and teach them Western education, but they also learn the Islamic education. But at the end of the day, they will have something, maybe a certificate, that will be able to do something with their lives. So,
Your Excellency, food is a very critical ingredient
food
of
security.
existence.
Absolutely.
So, any community that cannot feed itself is also an insecure community. Happily, your state is an agrarian one.
Absolutely.
What are you doing to enhance agricultural
In fact, let me tell
productivity?
you our motto.
Yes.
Our motto in Zamfara is farming is our pride.
So what are you doing?
I haven't realized also 80% of the population are farmers. We came up with incentives to encourage the farmers to go back to farm, especially now the security is coming much, much better and people are able to go back to their farms. We distribute fertilizer. In fact, by next week, I'll start distributing the fertilizer for this rainy season. We give them seedlings, we give them insecticide, we give them power tillers so that they can use these and improve productivity in terms of their farming. And we're also introducing the commodity board, whereby if you produce, we will buy. You will have off-takers, so there is nothing to fear.
Are the beneficiaries PDP members or
no.
people from across all the political parties?
If you check the records, I made it very clear that I was a governor, I'm a governor of Zamfara State. So it's not for PDP, it's for everybody.
Your Excellency, two questions.
Yes.
I'd like to take you up. I have a follow-up on the issue of infrastructure.
Yeah.
Is it true that in the whole of Zamfara, before you became governor, there was no traffic lights in the whole of Zamfara? And second, Your Excellency, education. Last year, you launched an 11.7 billion project for adolescent girls.
Yeah.
Has that